Welcome to the Plum Women podcast. We're talking about something we all face but rarely name: tough conversations. Whether it's with aging parents, our careers, or even ourselves, these moments can feel heavy, scary, or just damn near impossible. But here's the truth: you are not alone. Over this season, we'll share stories, expert advice, and practical steps that help you move from hesitation to action. We'll talk about real life experiences from women in the diaspora navigating the pressures of family, faith, identity, and midlife transition. Welcome to the lounge. This is Let's Talk. Welcome to the Plum Women podcast. We're talking about something we all face but rarely name: tough conversations. Whether it's with aging parents, our careers, or even ourselves, these moments can feel heavy, scary, or just damn near impossible. But here's the truth: you are not alone. Over this season, we'll share stories, expert advice, and practical steps that help you move from hesitation to action. We'll talk about real life experiences from women in the diaspora navigating the pressures of family, faith, identity, and midlife transition. Welcome to the lounge. This is Let's Talk. Okay, it's on live.
Hello, who's there? Who's there? Who's there? Put in the link. Where are you watching from? We want to know. We want to know where you're watching from right now. Before we start, we're not starting until you tell us where you're watching from.
I think our favorite audience is here waiting for us, Mama Claudia. She's been waiting actually for I think about 15-20 minutes.
Dang. Yes, it is on YouTube. Oh, yay. We have a Salon Gal Minnesota is here as well.
Welcome. And you say CEO of Battle
Of
Association.
that association. We like that.
Reverse Battle Association, all the way from Minnesota. Oh, by the way, do you guys have snow? Fumi
Seriously?
and
No.
Minnesota.
We
No,
are
because
in
it started snowing
we
yesterday.
are 70 degrees today. I should be
Oh,
outside and I'm sitting in
no, it
the room.
started snowing yesterday, and we
No,
were like, what
y'all are
the
in a different sphere of the universe. We don't. Hello,
Hello,
Yinkela over there. Welcome to the lounge.
welcome.
Wish we could have you all like just sit around. Well,
I
you in the lounge.
know.
I know,
We need
right?
to figure that out.
We need to do
We
that.
really need to figure that out. I think that would be really cool.
I know. It's high time. We are on YouTube and StreamYard. Facebook is acting up. Facebook is acting up.
That's okay. We can do. We can join YouTube. Is Facebook sending you a message?
Yeah. Let me
Well,
try.
life goes on. The wheels keep turning. So let's start turning.
Okay. That was a new one.
Isn't that okay? Oh, you know why? Because it's the song. Rolling. That's what I was thinking of. No, Tina Turner. rolling. So that the bus kept the bus kept turning. That's okay. Never mind.
Okay,
Could
we're
be.
not
Let's go.
going nursery rhymes today. We're not going nursery rhymes. We have people here for serious conversations.
Yes,
Serious
exactly.
conversation. Yes. Invite a friend if somebody is close to you and they're not here yet. They don't want to miss out on the conversations. But we want to get us going because we are respectful of your time and our guests are already here. Let me just add this link
So
to
whilst Fumi is adding the link, show of hands if anyone, if you could put your hand up or give us a comment or type if you saw the last two episodes that we had with Dr. Tunde Bias. She is a Nigerian OB-GYN here in Ontario, Toronto, Ontario. Did you listen to the show? Did you watch? Did anything pop out?
that
I
was a
think
really good episode though. Um I I learned a lot.
a friend of mine, a male, sent me a message. He's like, so he watched the first episode, and
Mhm.
then the second episode, he's like, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about vaginal dryness.
You'd be like, it's coming.
Because and the way he put it, which is actually one of the reasons why we're having this conversation today, it's not in a joking manner. It was in a matter of, because I don't know what else to do, and
Oh,
I can do, but I'm kind of like stuck. So maybe if I show up and listen to this, I'll be able to
you
be
know what to do. Oh,
time. The
well,
men sometimes go like, I really don't know. And then the woman goes like, you don't get it? Why don't you get it? It's like uh they always have this.
no. Well, gentleman and lady, you are in the right place today because that is what we're talking about. We want to make sure that the men as well as the female have
Mhm.
language to put to what's going on, especially when your woman in their 30s to beyond says, I just don't feel like myself. Because, we've always heard when a woman says, I'm fine, that means there's like 50 other things behind I'm fine. But if
No,
that
really, we're
woman
fine. We mean we're fine.
But if that woman gets to the point that they say, I just don't feel like myself, like just triple and fine times 10, because that is like, we all need to go to the doctor's office ourselves. So that's why we brought the doctor in the room. Yeah, we have a thumbs up for that. Yes. Um, we brought the doctor in the room and we also brought I'm in there with you. I know exactly what you're talking about
A
person.
sister.
A
Yep.
sister in the room. So we are so excited to start this conversation because it's not hypothetical anymore. So, Lucia, it's over
Okay.
to you.
So, without further ado, we are going to introduce our first guest today, who is joining us all the way from. Can I say where you're from? Well, he's from Sierra Leone originally. He's currently practicing in Dubai. And yes, he can still speak Creole. And no, he doesn't sound like an Arab, even though I tell him that. So we want to welcome to the stage today, joining us on this podcast live, Dr. Marvin Macaulay.
Ooh, we have a hand clap over there.
So, Dr. Macaulay, so you know just a little bit about him, is a very highly qualified physician that's specializing in diabetes and endocrinology, and general medicine. So he completed his schooling. Well, he started in Sierra Leone, West Africa, for those of you who may not be aware what Sierra Leone is. And he did his medical degree at the College of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences there. And then from there, he relocated to the United Kingdom, where he continued his academic learning and specialist training. So he's a doctor of the medicine of degree of in research of type 2 diabetes from the Newcastle University in UK. He's also a fellow of both the Royal College of Physicians of Edinburgh and of the Royal Australasian College of Physicians. He has accumulated an extensive amount of clinical experience across many continents. So Motherland Africa, of course, Europe, the Gulf of the Corporation of Council region, and Oceania. So he's been to Australia. He has experiences in so many different places. So we are very privileged and very happy to welcome one of our own to the Sisters Podcast, Dr. Macaulay.
Good evening, listeners and viewers. Thank you, Lucy and Fumi, for the invite. I hope we will have a very productive session.
It sure will be.
Oh, we sure will
All
be.
these ladies are going to be bombarding you with questions. We're ready. Everyone's
We're
ready.
He's ready. He came ready. I think he came ready.
Yes, he came very prepared. Fumi, before you bombard him, can we quickly ask him a quick question about how he was when he was growing up and maybe why he decided to go into this field of practice?
Ooh, very interesting question. I think I always wanted to help people. But at the age of 12, I think it became clear what path that was going to be. But the field of endocrinology and diabetes came much later in life, partly due to personal circumstances at the time, but also due to what specialty would be easier for me to go back to Sierra Leone with, should and when that opportunity arise. With diabetes and endocrinology, I know we're getting a lot more technology into the specialty now, and I do hope that we could start benefiting from this technology in Africa, and that might sort of guide or help us make the decisions to go back and help our people. But more specifically with regard to the specialty as well, I think for me personally, it combines two of my special attributes, which is empathy, compassion, communication, making deals, because that's what diabetes is all about. And endocrinology is really where you have to use your knowledge. And yeah, because most of the stuff we do are very rare. Most of the stuff comes from experience. So I think both just gives me that balance between using my brain and helping humanity. And yeah, so it's been a great experience, and I thank God for bringing me this far.
We thank God, because we're going to be picking your brain.
His big brain, because we thank God people use their big brains.
I hope you can leave some of the brain left just for the endocrinology.
Um, but I have somebody super special too. Welcome to the podcast, or to this session. So I need your hands to welcome Miss Veronica Davis to the podcast. Whoop, whoop,
All
whoop.
right. Welcome,
Yay!
Miss Moranica.
Welcome, Miss
Thank you.
Veronica.
Thank you for me. Thank you, Lucia. It's good to be here. Thank
Oh,
you for
that
inviting
voice,
me.
that voice. It has
I
that
know.
radio kind of thing behind it.
And very calming. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, it has that
Mm.
radio balance. But I want to formally introduce Miss Morenica. She has a bio center us. Okay, so with a distinguished background in theater and healthcare. Maybe it's the theater voice. Maybe it
Oh,
is.
maybe.
Morenica, yeah, maybe it's counted for something. Morenica attended FSSG. She chose an okay school and was a member of Tabule Theater.
Oh, ow.
You I know you understand the gist. You get
I
it.
do. I do. I do.
Collaborating with renowned figures such as Dilly Charlie, Dennis Nelson Streeter, Charlie Hafner, and Ray D'Souza George. Those are some big names in theater.
Mhm.
Um, in 1983, she represented Sierra Leone at the London International Festival of Theatre, Lift
Wow.
83, as part of a select group of 22 members. After relocating to the United States in 1989 to pursue a degree in business and hospital administration, she built a long standing career at Cone Health, a Forbes top 50 hospitals, serving as practice administrator for three community care clinics for 30 plus years. Wow, hats off to you. I
Thank you.
did 10 and I ran away. As a proud Creole and active member of KDUNC, she has served in multiple leadership roles at KDU Global, including assistant secretary, social secretary, while serving as a KDUNC representative. She is also a co-host of Yard Road. Hats off to Yard Road,
That's up to Yad Road.
a
Woohoo.
rising online TV which airs weekly on YouTube that highlights Sierra Leonean voices and stories. Outside of her professional and community commitments, she loves traveling and reading. If asked what is her most accomplishment so far, she will tell you that it is being a mother.
Yeah.
That warms my heart. Thank
Yeah.
you. Hats off
Thank
to
Good.
you.
you. We need a whole special episode on mothering.
We
Whew,
should probably
girl,
have her.
hey, I'll be there.
Oh, good.
I'll be there.
Because, yeah, I have two teenagers right now. And, yeah, I do need that episode. But
Very, very
welcome.
special teenagers.
Welcome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
they are. So, Miss Morenica, I know we're not here to talk about mothering, but you did say, and it is a very accomplished bio, but why is being a mother the part that is your biggest accomplishment right now?
Because I was a single parent. So that alone I think is an accomplishment these
Mhm.
days. He's 33 now. He's a grown man
As a
now, but
grown
I
man.
yes, as a single parent, it was rough. It was tough. I made it through with the grace of God.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you. That says a lot. So thank you for holding it up, and it's just it is a it's accomplishment. It deserves medals and everything. Even with two people, it is still
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
day-to-day grace journey.
He's
Thank
probably your buddy, isn't he?
He is. He is.
No.
Yep. He shows up every now and again with flowers for me. I know.
Oh,
I
that
know.
is so nice.
That is
Yeah.
lovely. OMG.
Uh,
Okay, hats off to him. Hats off to him.
thank you.
So for me, Miss Monica, if I may ask,
Mhm.
Mhm.
um, given that your son is your buddy, and given the background that we come from, would you say at any point in time in your walk with, at some point, Miss Perimenopause or menopause, would you say he um, was would be able to pinpoint certain times they're like, oh, I think, yeah, my mom actually was or is experiencing some symptoms of that?
Yes, if you ask him, yes, he would. The thing is, back then when I was going through perimet, I didn't know that I was going through it
Mm,
because I was going through separation at the time. So it was, I didn't know I was going through it. I was
mm,
going through other stuff as well.
mhm,
Depression was part of it. All the symptoms, which I found out later, was perimenopause. I had
mm,
all of those going. Thinning hair was one of it. At that time, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure as well. I had a whole lot of stuff going on. So the blood pressure medication, I thought back then, was
Mm.
causing my hair to be thin. So
mhm.
I decided to go bald, and everyone loved it. So I
Kept it.
kept it. Yeah.
You sure
So
rocking it though.
later on, I found out that perimenopause was part of what I was going through.
But
Yeah.
the thing that we've heard consistently from even our the the poll that we took, the questions to our community, the
Mhm.
feedback we're getting from every angle is I didn't know I was going through this. I didn't know this and this is what was happening. I never knew that all the symptoms had anything to do with perimenopause and menopause. So,
Mm.
Marvin, Dr. Macaulay, I should rephrase myself and be respectful.
No, Marvin is fine. Marvin is
Have
fine.
So okay, today I'll go with Marvin. Marvin, so what is why is it that way? Like why can't it just be when these things come up we know right away? Like we can put up like if you're feeling like you feel like you're passing out, it's easy to diagnose. Or you probably have low blood sugar, right? Or I feel like those things are, or if, well, I know I have the doctor shaking their head. If you are sweating like you ran 10 miles and you're sweating, they know it's because of exhaustion. Why don't we know when all these things are going on that menopause and perimenopause is there to be counted for?
I think the answer is simple, and as Madam Morenica, yes?
Yes. Hmm.
Yes. Firstly, it's a pleasure to share this platform with you, and your story deeply resonates with me. But exactly what you have described is no different from what I have seen across the continents that I've worked. Um, and I think the reason why it's not recognized is because people are not aware of it. And
Mm,
when it comes to women's health or sexual health, there is usually some form of taboo, or it's a kind of a no-go area, or a kind of it's not something that should be discussed.
Mm.
mm-hmm,
And I remember just at the time that I was leaving the UK, they had to do sort of a campaign for doctors and GPs to increase the awareness of this condition. Um, if I look back in my practice, almost all the women that I've seen did not know this was menopause. And I think thanks to what this your platform is doing in
Mm.
terms of raising the awareness, in terms
Mhm.
of um, getting people to understand their bodies, empowering women, and not just women. And I think the men also have to be empowered as well, because
Mhm.
we either be sons or nephews or husbands or partners, and our roles should be more supportive rather than dismissive. Our
Mm.
roles should, and actually, because you would not even recognize it, we should be the ones saying, "Well, oh, I had to talk about perimenopause. Um, do you mind getting checked for it?" And hopefully, maybe by the end of this conversation, the audience will understand why I'm sitting on this platform with three women. Um, and I'm sure the men will understand by the end. No offense, of course,
No
of course.
offense.
Yeah,
No
but
offense, none taken.
I'm taking it
just
all.
not. Yeah, it's just not something. The awareness is not there, and there are cultural barriers,
Mm.
um,
Mhm.
and more specifically to the Black woman. The Black women usually do not have access or enjoy the same equity in healthcare systems as other races may do. So these are all barriers to um, why we have so many problems, um, starting from health, but can lead to socioeconomic um, problems with regards to perimenopause and menopause, especially with Black women.
Don't you? Oh, I totally agree. And I was just thinking, even for me, Dr. Bias had mentioned that in that, like the previous episode. I think one of the things about the Black woman in general is that everyone just keeps going. We just go, just go, not paying attention to anything, but what's around you, as in what you have to do, the family that you have to take care of, the job that you have, and this and that. That to the degree sometimes the symptom, when we talk about, say, for example, having symptoms, experiencing symptoms, you recognize them when they are now at a high intensity level because you
Mm.
have not really been paying attention, or you don't even know about your body. I think for me, you mentioned that
Yep.
you don't even know about your body. So you're not even aware that things are changing, right? You have no clue about what's changing. So I'm just wondering, Malvin, if for those who may not be aware, what are some of these changes that can happen to the body, to the female body, basically, that we need to be paying attention to?
So if we and you're absolutely right. I think first of all, trying to understand your own body, because if you don't know your body, you would not recognize these changes, especially with the perimenopause. But let's just get certain things clear. That perimenopause is not an event, rather than it's a process that can last
Mm.
for up to 10 years. And the symptoms can be very, very non-specific. So
Mm-hmm.
if you, first of all, let's say at the age of 45, that's typically when you should start thinking about it, but it can happen earlier. You can
Mm-hmm.
you can have perimenopausal symptoms much earlier. So let's start with the mood and mental health.
Mm.
Um, so what people should look for is a change in the mental status. So you can have depression, you can have anxiety, but what is actually linked to perimenopause is a change in those symptoms. So um, usually in perimenopause, women tend to be more anxious. So the way they react to things is slightly different. Um, they can also have a fast heart rate. They can have sweating at night. They can feel bloated, like you're really pregnant. And again, that's a bit difficult to explain because you're thinking, oh, I have retired from that section, and but my body is telling me that I'm pregnant. You feel bloated. Sometimes you experience changes in your bowels, like constipation. Um, Night sweats is another important one. So night sweats is a very, very important symptom to look out for. Um, and going down to intimacy, now you most women will probably recollect or reflect on a reduction in the libido, and also they will also experience dryness down below. I don't know if I can use the V word, um, but vaginal dryness. There we go.
Yeah.
Um, so personally, I think both is linked because if you have vaginal dryness, intercourse is going to be very painful, very uncomfortable for you, and as a result, what you tend to do is just you don't want to see your partner. You don't want him to come near you. You don't want him to touch you. Um, your periods become irregular. They can be and they can change in frequency. They can be much more heavier to start off with. So quite a lot, quite a lot. So I'll just pause here for now, and then I can go. I would love to go into some of the medical complications or medical risks of this particular period, and why I think the males, or the husbands, or the nephews, or the sons, should play a role.
Mm, thank you.
That feels like we need a whole book. we need a we need a whole book just to write about the symptoms for one human.
The vaginal dryness that you were talking about, Marvin, when you came on, when the three of us were laughing, we were just talking, or I was just mentioning someone that I saw about a few days ago, and this is a Caucasian female in her 60s, and her issue, that was not why she was in the clinic, but her issue that day was the fact that her husband was quote unquote pestering her, and she's had this vaginal dryness for a while, um and she could care less, and she's like, you know what, it hurts and I don't feel like doing it, I don't feel like him touching me, and at this point in time I just told him, you could do whatever you want, I don't care, I just want to live my life. and and I'm saying this, I mean, when she was very serious about it, but she was also saying it in a comical way. But her symptoms, which I'm happy that you're going to be talking about the management and so on later. Uh, at the end, this was her only symptom, and it's something that can be managed. So we prior to the show, we went ahead and asked just people who would listen to the podcast to do a survey, so a brief survey about if they experience it, and or if they know people who have experienced any of these stages and what they were. So I'm just gonna quickly put that so we see how they correlate with what you've been saying. So generally, this is more like a synopsis of what the survey was. As you can see, we had a range of age groups. So we had the 50 to 60, we had the 40s and under 50s, I would say. And at least 5 of them said yes, they've had experience with this symptom. And we've had the hot flashes. Someone wasn't even sure if they were in perimenopause or if they were actually menopausal. And this is a valid, thing because people don't know. And as you say, it's a process, right? But they talked about the person was sweating a lot at night, and that and their sheets were getting wet. And and then the person at the top said that, what? Lastly, I wouldn't want to change anything because I love being a woman. So I love that part about the person saying that. Because when you think about all these symptoms that happen, it could drive anyone crazy. Really, so we just wanted to show some of the symptoms that people were mentioning. And I don't know, Fumi, do you think we wanna ask like people who are watching if they've experienced any of these symptoms? Because
I think it's a valid time to put those symptoms that you would like to ask the doctor about, because I feel like I can put 6, but today is not about me. So we're not gonna go with mine. We're just gonna ask the audience to put theirs. If you have, maybe it's not even for you, it's for a friend, because we do have those
right.
friends that we really need to ask about, because some of
I
them,
can put one for a friend.
yeah. So we do have those friends that we need to ask about. It's not about us today, but as we're waiting for our friends to ask about their friends, Miss Morenike, you are representing the people here. So
Okay.
you are representing
All women.
You're representing the women here. So we want to hear. I know you had mentioned that during the time you were going through a lot.
Life
Right.
was lifing.
Life was
Life
really
was
lifing.
Mhm.
But during that time, if you could have had something like this panel to say, listen, let me tell you my story, and this is my particular number one question I want you to answer. Walk us through what that time, what would that question or what would that time look like if you were to like just put it in a little synopsis for us?
If I was to ask a question during that time regarding what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
it wouldn't have been a question really. It would have been a cry for help, for someone to help me explain to my husband at the time
Mm-hmm.
what I was going through, because there's no way I could have explained it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we would still be married today. But
Mm-hmm.
because of everything that I was going through, of course, when your wife tells you that she doesn't feel like, she doesn't want you to touch her, because she doesn't feel
Yeah.
the way you're feeling, it's not the same like it used to be.
Yeah.
Of course, the person is going to think that, oh, maybe she's cheating.
Yep.
Of course, back then, energy, no energy. I didn't have any energy, not enough sleep. I would wake up at night and then not able to go back to sleep. I mean, just a whole lot of stuff. I would have asked someone to help me explain what was going on to my husband at the time, and explain to me too, because I didn't know what it was. So it wouldn't have been a question, it would have been a cry for help. So,
I totally hear you. I just posted that, yeah, me trying to fix my face instead of me doing this. Instead of me doing this to all your instead of me doing all that question, like me just trying to fix my face on camera. But
Someone just said that they were having dry skin, a very slow workout recovery, weight gain, and brain fog.
oh my gosh.
I did that too with the weight gain. Yep.
So
And the brain
I
fog.
the brain fog. So Marvin, doctor. So if
He might be getting a hot flash at this point because all these women be asking him all these questions. Like,
So,
answer, give us the answer.
so if we had come to you with this cry for help, one is not even just for us, is to have the language to explain, right, to you and to our significant other, what words can we use that will make, because right now you're doing two representation here. You're representing the husbands and you're being doctor, all in the same space. What should we say for the words to make sense?
So basically, all what we've had from Madame Morenike and what Lucia read out from the other listener, these are all symptoms. I mean, the symptoms of perimenopause are very non-specific.
Mm,
Um, you should just try and explain how you're feeling or what's different. One thing I encourage my patients to do is to write down what they think is concern to them, whether it's relevant or not. So I encourage them to write down all their symptoms. And yes, brain fog is another one. And some of these symptoms are actually very non-specific, even for us, the doctors, to understand. But what we what I tend to do in my practice is to get there's a saying in medicine: if something looks like a duck, it's more likely to be a duck. So if you have more of these symptoms, and you take the history properly to try and highlight, okay, sleeping patterns, changes in mood, yes, the night sweats. And by the way, if you're having any symptoms that you're having, any symptom you have that affects your quality of life warrants a visit to the doctor who understands the problem. So I think you should just be able to describe what you feel, what you experience, and I always encourage women to come with their partners as well.
mhm,
And I use that as an opportunity to educate the partners. Um, Again, I have seen women going through menopause being misunderstood, and then that gives the liberty to have a side chick or another wife, depending on where you are and what your practices are. But let me just take this opportunity to say to the men, um, supporting your loved one through menopause is one of the best things you could ever do to mankind. And by the way, let me deal with the vaginal dryness and get it out of the way, because I think that was what will be the burning question for a lot of men. Now, if you are having, okay, intercourse is a special moment between a couple that brings a couple together. And of course, a symptom of vaginal dryness prevents that from happening and tends to affect that bond. Now, this is something, so instead of pressuring your partner into making love, instead of pressuring your partner, I think these are things that could be solved quite easily, you know. So when I see these patients, for example, I advise them to have like pelvic floor exercises, increases the blood flow. Um, as you go through menopause and the hormones changes, the hormones change, you have very little hormone in the vagina, so the vaginal cells, they become unhealthy. Yeah. So, and what actually contributes to the dryness. That can easily be fixed with lubricants. And it's okay to go to the shop and buy lubricants. It's okay. It's not a taboo. You
Yeah.
can even apply some estrogen, very low dose estrogen creams. Okay. And then once that business is sorted, it's back to business as usual. So it's okay to talk about these things. So of course, I would encourage you should talk about these things, and it's only when you talk about them you can find a solution. And most of the time, almost 100% of the time, there are simple things you can do,
Mm-hmm.
right? And forget about the taboo about going to the store and asking for lubricants. You need lubricants. You need lubricants. Come on, you need gas for your car. You need gas for your car. In fact, somebody would not even think twice, like, why is he buying lubricants? So there's help out there. What I will advise, whatever symptoms, however crazy it sounds, write it all down. Go to your doctors. If its symptom is or the symptoms are enough to affect what you do in your routine, then that warrants a visit to the doctor. Or, even with the doctors, so some are not very skilled. I know there's been a lot of awareness even in the medical field.
Yeah.
So finding the right doctor is something very important. Um, but again, because of the brain fog, you might not think, because mind you only have, depending on where you are, 10, 15, 20 minutes, some places 30 minutes for a new consultation. So because of the brain fog, you cannot think about all of this in during the time of the consultation. So write down all your symptoms. It doesn't matter whether it makes sense or not. It's okay. And then discuss it with a doctor who understands. And the doctor will be able to identify what are the burning issues that require medical attention.
You know what the best part is? If you don't want to go to the store, if you don't want to go to the store to buy lubricants, you can order them
You
online.
can order them online.
Have it delivered at your front door.
Yep, yeah, that's actually very true.
Yep.
Just order them online. Um, oh, go ahead for me.
No, go ahead.
A an anonymous so it's anonymous, I don't know who, but they wanted to ask, the lady said, I'm assuming this is a female, says, I'm in my mid 60s now and I would like to know when this will end.
Hmm.
I want to know too.
So the symptoms usually in the medical literature, they generally can continue up to 10 years. But for our viewer who is in mid 60s, um, I would advise you to see a doctor if you haven't um, already seen, because I think that's going to be a tricky consultation, given that it depends on the onset of your symptoms. Okay. And usually you will have much more choices, medical choices, if you presented before the age of 60 or within 10 years from the start of your symptoms. But at 66, that's the time actually probably where you might be thinking about weaning off. However, if you've got persistent symptoms, it the doctor needs to make a decision whether he or she needs to continue the HRT, hormone replacement therapy, but that has to be under close supervision, because after 60, risks of other things increases as well. But more importantly, if you're also having symptoms, it could not be menopause. So you really need to have a doctor who could sort of really have a close look at things and explore other medical or hormonal conditions as well.
I have a question for you,
Go ahead, ma'am.
if you don't mind, ladies.
Oh no,
Oh,
please,
go
Miss
ahead,
Joy, you're
please.
representing the ladies today. So please.
I I will be 62 in a couple months, okay?
Yeah.
Woohoo.
I still sleep with the ceiling fan on, a fan at my nightstand, and the air condition on, because I'm hot every night, every single day. I have to sleep with the fan and everything on. So you say if it continues in my 60s, I should go see a doctor?
Well, yes. I mean, I know this is a public forum, so I would not want to take your medical history here just for confidentiality issues. But so again, it depends on a few things. So I think the doctor should, or the information you should go to the doctor is, when did your symptoms start? When did you have your last period? Um, What's so is it just this night sweats that's bothering you? Do you have any other symptoms that's bothering you? And the decision, so the doctor will have to put that all into consideration. Do you have a family history of breast cancer? So these are all the information we need to balance of how we make, do you have any other sort of endometrial cancer, or, cancer of the womb? Sorry,
Okay.
cancer of the womb, any history of cancer of the womb in the family, any history of breast cancer. Um, and because I am also sort of an endocrinologist, I tend to take an extensive history in terms of your cardiovascular risk, meaning the risk of you having a heart attack or a stroke. So I want to know, do you have hypertension? Because the female hormones, some of the female hormones offer protection against some of
Yep.
these risks. So when you lose them, you lose that protection as well. So there's a risk for the hypertension. Okay. There's a risk for your cholesterol to actually, there's a physiological, what I mean physiological, there's a natural rise in your cholesterol level um, around menopause. That also poses a cardiovascular risk. There's also so you have to think about all of these things. You have to think about the risks to your bones as well, because the female hormones
Osteo.
also, yeah, osteoporosis, weak bones that break easily. So because generally the decision made by your doctor will be based on benefits versus risks. Okay,
Okay.
so that's going to guide what they treat you with. But invariably, it's always nice to have all this information. So if I say, for example, let's for simplicity, if I have, if I say, okay, if I choose treatment A, you're gonna get 10 benefits out of it and 2 risks. Then I can find a way to mitigate that risk. Then I will recommend that treatment. On the
Okay.
contrary, if the risks were 10 and the benefits were 2, I would say, I don't think we should do this. So if your symptoms still persist, yes, please go and see your doctor. Go with all this information that I've asked for. The doctor will also do some other tests to rule out other conditions. So, for example, is it a problem with your thyroid? Do you have an overactive thyroid gland, which can mimic this condition in terms of the sweating? You know, um, there are other forms of other conditions which the doctor can easily sort of highlight with a simple blood test.
How does menopause affect women with hysterectomy?
So that's what we would call surgical menopause, and it depends on what age. So for some, to say, for example, if you had cancer of the womb and we had to do what we call a radical hysterectomy, I mean, take out the womb and take out the uterus. So you basically enter menopause before probably your natural age. So in those cases, first of all, you'll have all the symptoms that we now relate to that, which we have just highlighted, and I think was discussed in the previous episodes. For time, I don't want to go through them. But more specifically, these women are at risk of having poor bone health. So let me just discuss the bone health. So naturally, and how that relates to the Black woman. Naturally, they'll say um, Black women tend to have better bone health than white women, and so they progress less faster to osteoporosis, weak bones. However, if you have early menopause, like in what you've described, and you lose the protective female hormones very early, you start to lose bone health quite quick. More importantly, if you were to, say, have a fall and break your leg, the risk of dying from that is higher than that of the general population.
Mm-hmm.
Once you
Really?
break a bone, your
Mm-hmm.
risk of
Yep.
dying increases severely.
But why is that?
You lose the effects. You lose the so once you lose the protective effects of the hormones,
The
so
estrogen.
you maintain bone health with two things. Okay, there's two continuous process going on. You're laying down new bone, then you're getting rid of old bone. Once that hormone changes, the getting rid of the old
Oh.
bone supersedes the laying down of new bone. Is that simple enough? I've not used
Mm-hmm.
any
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
medical jargon, right? So that
No, you
You're
were
doing
strictly
good.
warned.
You're
You're
doing
strictly warned.
good.
um, so that's one. The other thing, so we've talked about bone health. Oh, the other thing we need to talk to is about the risk of a heart attack or stroke. Right now, these hormones don't have protective mechanisms, and therefore, when you lose them, you lose the protective mechanism. So things like hypertension will occur. Things like your cholesterol levels will start going up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, things like insulin resistance, the state of insulin resistance, and that increases your risk of diabetes. And when you put all of this together, and mind you, Black people generally have a higher risk of having strokes and heart attacks anyway.
Yep.
So when you put menopause on top of that, the risk of having a stroke or a heart attack and even dying from those is very, very high. And therefore, my plea to especially the males is you might not understand it all, but the effects of perimenopause and menopause go far beyond intercourse.
Mm-hmm.
It goes far beyond, oh, this woman is becoming difficult, or she's acting crazy, or I don't know what's gone into her. So we have to think broadly and help our Black sisters, mothers, spouses through this most turbulent and difficult times.
So, doctor, before you, I know we almost getting to that point where we need to start
Mm-hmm.
rounding up. But if you are to talk directly, because the men will be like, okay, we know we're supposed to help, right? If you
How
were
do
to
we help?
give them one, two, three, this is what you do to help during this difficult time when you don't understand, they don't have words to put to it. At least now we have some words. We know we should talk. We should tell them what is really going on when we say, I don't feel like myself. It will click somewhere in their brain, like, okay, but what should they do just to help?
First and
Or what
foremost,
could
be
they
kind.
do?
Be kind. Try and understand the problem. And in most cases, if yes, and don't get frustrated if you don't have an answer to that. But then
Mm,
you can say, oh, well, I listened to this program. And then it's your spouse. You know, the woman is your spouse. The woman is your mother. The woman is your sister. You know, you could go and see the doctor. You could think, oh, I think this is perimenopause or this is menopause. Let's go and see an expert. Let's get some
mm,
help. And and I think supporting that process or that decision making is what we should be doing from from a male's perspective. But also, I would also want to take this opportunity to encourage the women because sometimes the black list, we are the last to. We usually we usually only go to seek medical attention when things are unbearable.
mm.
should be coming presenting much earlier, and that's why mortality rates are higher. We see the worst form of diseases. Yeah, so the
Die or feel bad
yeah,
disease.
exactly, and the idea that
You feel
I'm a
bad.
smart
Die.
woman, because that's and we tend to feel that. And let's face it, because you have loads on your plate already. My mom Morenica was telling us all what she had to go through. Now I know what it meant to raise a son by yourself.
By yourself.
Um,
Yeah.
and in a way, you will feel like a superwoman. So to be quite honest,
Yeah.
that's attention to yourself. Yeah. So we should steer away from that superwoman sort of mentality. Or I can take it all. I have been through childbirth. Why can't I go through this one? Right? And even when we go to the hospital, so everyone has to play a part. And if you speak to a doctor who does not seem to understand, you push the doctor, you ask the doctor the questions. Could this be menopause? I think I'm going through menopause. Doctor, if you can't help me, please refer me, and don't allow the doctor to dismiss you.
Yeah.
So
That
we
is
all
true.
have
Being
roles to play.
persistent.
Self
Yeah,
advocacy.
Yeah.
absolutely. So it's time to advocate. You know, again, let me just make this point. There was a review that was done in the UK that about painkillers or pain during labor in the UK, and what they found out that the black um, patients, black women, were the least likely to offered
Uh,
painkillers because
yeah.
the perception is that we can put up with pain. This has to change through advocacy, and
Yeah.
this is why I am here.
Yeah.
And lastly, to I had a patient recently, Caucasian, of course, so they are much more, vocal.
Vocal.
So she came again. She had no clue what was going on. Made the diagnosis, put on some estrogen cream for the vaginal dryness, put on some HRT, and oh my God! I mean, the next time she came into the clinic, she had a spring in her step, and she told me how the husband will call on the way when he's coming home, and how prepared she was, and how the
Dang.
husband looked forward to coming home. And I thought to
Wow.
myself, well, at least I have saved that marriage.
Marriage. Right.
So there's help out there. We
Wow.
just need
There's
to,
help out
Yeah.
there.
yeah, there's help out there. And again, don't be, because some, I have also had the experience where you offer lubricants or you offer vaginal cream, and women go, no, I will not put that on myself. Hello.
Yeah.
So, as we wrap up, because I think probably would have to continue this conversation even more, just because there's so many things to unwrap when you talk about this topic. But if you can just briefly, at least aside from the lubricant, just briefly talk about the hormonal therapy that women can utilize. And because there's a lot, sometimes some people may not want to try it, but for them to understand there is a possible solution to some of these things, that you don't have to suffer for suffer's sake, and you don't have to suffer through life and be miserable. So I don't know if you just want to touch base. I know it's a very broad part of it, breaking it down, the types and so on and so forth. But can you just talk about the HRT as one of the possible solutions
Sure. I
or
think I
management?
will just give
Sorry.
a broad brush approach to this. So before we go to medication, I think there's a lot of evidence coming out now that shows cognitive behavioral
Behavioral
therapy
therapy.
is is useful. What you guys are doing is also very useful. Um, so HRT, I think you have to localized preparations are better for Black people just because they have lesser risks. So like a patch, estrogen patch, or a
Mhm.
coil and a progesterone coil, a combination tends to work very well. But again, that's not the end all and be all of it. Um, Try and avoid oral estrogen because of the increased risk of blood clots.
Mhm.
Systemic progesterone also can cause problems. But by and large, that covers your HRT. So topical, the more topical you can administer the hormone, the
Mhm.
safer it is. That's the broad brush approach. And then you
Mhm.
have non HRT um,
Management.
options
Mhm.
which you can use. You have some what do you call over the counter stuff like black cohosh. There's some evidence that it works. Ashwagandha, but also if you're taking ashwagandha, please maintain ties with your doctor. Um, and of course, if your mental health deteriorates significantly where you need treatment for that, there are also medications for depression and medications for anxiety. So I would, and then finally, um, if you do have risk of poor bone health, there are other medications we can give. And if you have risk of other cardiovascular diseases, so that is something else that needs to be treated. So I think that covers, that's a broad brush approach of the, how would I would approach a black female patient with perimenopause and menopause.
So, listeners, we've heard a lot, and the doctor and Miss Moret, thank you so much for representing us. At least my face did not give out a whole bunch. Um, but we also like this podcast. And by the way, can you believe this is a third live? I believe we're doing.
It's our
Which
fourth
we're hope
live.
a fourth live, okay. Which we're hoping that this year we'll do a lot more, depending on how we can, because Lucia is super busy these days. I am totally not busy. That is such a lie. But but we are hoping that this year we really so let me start from the beginning. We've been doing this for 4 years. This podcast has been going for 4 years, and we are giving ourselves a pat on the back because it takes a lot to show up every time, and it takes a lot to bring conversations that really matter to us all. The whole point of us doing this is to be able to bring this awareness, bring into conversations the things that are
Mhm.
so tabooed that we never grew up talking about, we never grew up asking those questions. This is the place that we hope the people that know and the people that have questions are able to meet and we resolve, because there's so much talent in our communities. There's
Mhm.
so much that we have in our communities, and we can learn and also share with others. So this is that place. But the one thing that we've always anchored on is that no matter how much science is there and is telling the truth, God's truth supersedes everything. So we do not say don't go to the doctor. We will never tell
Mhm.
you that. If AI replicates our faces and they say don't go to the doctor, just tell them that it's a lie. They will never tell you that. So let's throw that out there. We will never tell you don't go to the bank because we won't tell you that. That is not us. But we do believe that God supersedes everything, and everything else points to him. So that is our approach. So even though we've talked about all the science that have to do with perimenopause, we believe that God's word can fix those things that science cannot fix, and they can both walk together. Your Bible has a lot to talk about menopause. Trust me, Sarah was 90 years old and she had a baby.
She
That is a
was past,
lot
she
of
was post menopause.
that is a lot of menopause story in there.
I think that's another
Elizabeth,
topic. That's another
that I
topic. You
know.
can still have a
Yeah.
baby in perimenopause. I think Lucia, you
Yeah.
mentioned that in your last
Yeah.
program.
The last
I
life.
Mhm.
listened to that. Yeah.
Yes, the
Yeah.
lady had a baby. Yep, well, she was pretty much medically post menopause. Yeah.
Yeah, and that made me one day anyway, one day I was in the shower and I don't know why that thought came over my head like I was thinking about Sarah. I'm like, the Bible said Sarah laughed. And I'm thinking like and I'm thinking that, you know what? I don't think Sarah laughed just because
Because
she wanted to laugh. But could you imagine the thoughts of like, right now I'm done with all of this. And you put a baby in the mix? Like, like that was the most hilarious thing. I laughed so hard in the shower that day. And I don't know why, but it was super funny.
Yeah.
But
I think
anyways,
for me, we should also mention maybe this is one of the other things about just typically women in our health. Um, we the medical, we've talked about the medical, and definitely you have to have the faith and back it up as well. But also our people, if I may put it that way, are not so we're not drawn to the things that actually, who was it? Is it Elive Mild, Le Mild, when he or she mentioned about the diet and exercise? I mean, it is so very important that we don't wait until things start going down the road. And diet and exercise doesn't necessarily mean you're dieting because you want to be a size zero, or you're exercising because you're trying to be a bodybuilder or a size zero, or trying to quote unquote lose a significant amount of weight. It's just about keeping yourself healthy. Your bone, as he was mentioning, you need the exercise, the weight bearing. Yes, the hormones are going to be changing. Your body shape is going to be changing and may not necessarily be responding the way you want because you've been going to the gym five hours a week, but it is still very important. So I think I don't know, I always just like to put that out there because we you know but it is one of the simple things that God has given us. Just go outside. You have the outdoors, utilize the outdoors. If you don't like the outdoors, you can utilize the machine indoors, and the diet as well, our food pretty much. So
yeah. So before we say bye, I did put a link in the description box. It is a short resource that basically gives us a scripture guide for us to pray about our bodies. So with all the symptoms that we have described on the podcast, with all the emotions and things that we've talked about, there are scriptures that we can speak over our body. Like I said, they go side by side. So go on, download that guide, forward it to a friend, share this episode with a friend. I know in our communities, so most times the things that help us prevent things before they go bad, it's not as popular, but I think it's time that we change that. And we're hoping that these kind of programs, we're able to share it, we're able to say, go listen to it and let's talk about it. Or go listen to it and share it with that other person that if you tell them, girl, this I think it's menopause, they probably want to stone you because they don't want to be in menopause.
Yeah.
And
They're not
please
ready
don't
to get
stone
there.
your husband or man friend or whatever, because they are learning and now they've been told that, be supportive.
So don't be mad at them. Both of us can talk about this together. And sometimes your spouse will not want to listen to this and go and say, "Oh, it's for women." You just need to put it on speaker on your phone, like they just need to listen. They might not tell you that they're hearing, but they're just listening, and that is okay as well. So we don't need to we don't want to beat them up. We just want to give them the information for the support we need. We love happy marriages. We love being invited to weddings, and we love being invited to wedding anniversary celebrations. So we're not here to split anything. We just we want to bring you all together and have a language and the support to have things
Yeah.
going. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to say one last thing before we go. You know,
Mhm.
every time on this podcast, when we say
Subscribe.
subscribe to the podcast, you really don't have to pay anything. It doesn't cost you money. It doesn't cost your identity. Nothing. What it says to us is, I like what you're talking about. And when I subscribe, when I press that button one time,
One
it
time.
says when you post another episode, YouTube will tell me that you've posted another one. Or when you say when you want to share with a friend, you don't have to keep looking for all these things that are, like it will come to your feed and you'll see it. And it also, when YouTube sees that people are listening and liking stuff, they will push it to other people that need to hear this message. So the more of us that are saying yes, subscribe, the more YouTube pushes this out to other people. So a friend of a friend of a friend that we want to help will actually get the information. So Lucia, up to you to thank our guests so I don't keep talking for the next 5 hours. Because I so want to say thank you in 500 languages for being here.
Well, I would say thank you in one of the most common languages all four of us know. Thank you, thank you. What they're telling
Thank you,
us,
thank you,
thank
thank
you
you.
for all the very good thing they want to don't come and talk about.
Yeah.
In English, basically, we're saying thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We appreciate your time. Miss Morenike has been brass spider, quote unquote, today.
That's right.
Yeah, and Marvin is past 2 a.m. where he is. So we really appreciate their time, and we also want to say thank you to all those who logged in, who have been sending in questions, not just for today, but they've been doing the surveys. We are really appreciative of your time, and we do not take it for granted. So thank you very much, and hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, hit the subscribe button. That's all we ask for. So thank you so, so much. God bless you and have the most beautiful, wonderful week ahead of you.
Thank you, ladies, for having me. Thank you, viewers. Nice meeting you, Marvin. Dr. Marvin, right?
Yeah, Mum, Madam Morenica, it's been an absolute pleasure to share
Thank you.
this platform, for which I'm very grateful to Lucy and Fumi. Thank you to our lovely viewers for tuning in. And please, please, please subscribe to this
Yep.
channel.
Yes. And we don't want to end this day without thanking our spouses. So they don't always come on the show, but the support that they give, we don't want to take that for granted. So, Mr. Pine
Yes.
Bailey and Mr. Williams, thank you so much for the support. We appreciate you, and we just want the world to know that we appreciate you.
We appreciate you. All
So,
right.
So
thank
sweet.
you.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
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 Right.